on way.
Awesome.
All right. All right, everybody. So here they are, the cast of Terrifier 2. We've only got one mic, so we'll just go without a mic. We'll just talk. So,
use our diaphragms.
there you go. You guys are all actors. So, there you go.
Yes.
Guys, I've watched Terrifier 2 for the first time. Terrifier for the first time recently. I had not seen any of them, I have to admit.
Oh boy.
I'll tell you, the thing that really impresses me, well, there's several things that impress me about it, but number one is the success as an independent film that this franchise has had is absolutely mind-blowing. Congratulations on that. I mean, it really is creation of a new horror icon in art, because I mean that's what every slasher movie wants to do nowadays. They all wish that they could do that. You guys did it, so
We didn't know how.
I don't know.
Oh, we wouldn't be anywhere without you guys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the thing. It's like, it's like it's the fans that made it, especially like the fans literally funded part 2. That's like that was where most of the money for part 2 came from. It was the fans supported the Go-Go campaign, and then now because of that, he went out and supported that, so we're able to make part 3, and now we beat world records, which is we're the highest grossing like non-rated film of all time.
Yeah.
We beat Beyonce. I took down a queen. So it's kind of crazy, and that's all because you guys have been supporting us. And I hate Damien couldn't be here this weekend, but he's busy writing part 4 right now, so I'll let him do that. I'll let him.
You let him out of his cage.
It's like, yes, master. Going back tonight to get master. No.
Don't you want yes, master?
Yeah, it's
going
for me.
back,
Yeah.
going back in the cage, master.
Yeah, that's when the Staten Island comes out.
It would be
like,
more like, I'm going home to write part 4, but I'll be back, next year.
You flipped. Yeah, but he sends his best. Wishes all you guys all the best right now. Says thank you to you as well, and I can't wait for you to see whatever we're gonna do, because I don't even know what we're doing in part 4 yet. He hasn't told any of us anything, so we're just like,
He doesn't even know.
well, I'm betting, David, that you're in it. I'm just guessing.
I'm guessing.
I don't know.
I hope.
There's a chance.
I hope. Yeah. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun regardless. Like he's already told me basically it's part 2 on steroids. So imagine what you're about to see on steroids. So that's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be 7 hours long.
Yeah. Lots of back needs. Lots of back. This is steroids.
I want to let the crowd ask some questions.
Sure.
Guys. So who wants to ask a question? Let's see a hand. There we go, right here.
I don't know if I should say. I'll say for anybody, what is your favorite scene to shoot or most memorable? If it's should we just go down the line?
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
Me first? Oh my god. God, I had such a great time filming in the third one, the cafeteria scene with Elliot, Lauren, and Alexa, and it was a fun combo to see everyone together in that scene. That was a lot of fun, but also the dorm room scene where you're kind of creeping and listening to Alexa was really hilarious.
You didn't like the chainsaw pooter?
No, that's all right. It was like a second. It was close second.
Oh, language.
My favorite.
It's fine.
That's what I call it.
I'm from
Anyway.
the South. It's what it is.
My favorite was, I like the possum scene because that was the first one that I filmed and I just had a lot of fun with that. But I also really like the nightclub scene because I was 11 at the time, so I got to explore the nightclub. I went like behind the DJ stand and everything. I had the time of my life in that nightclub because I'd never been anywhere like that before. So settle down over there.
Andre, I want to ask you, were you like the cool kid in the school after this movie came out and your friends found out?
No, I was the
weirdo?
Yeah!
It's going to be one or the other. Either you're going to be like the coolest kid ever or they're going to be like,
There's definitely mixed opinions. There's still mixed opinions. A lot of people think it's kind of weird, honestly, but then there's a few that are more like in the horror genre and they really appreciate it. So it's nice to have conversations with those people about it because
The others
really
are jealous.
They know
They're jealous.
They're jealous.
And you
Yes.
started working on the soap opera right after that.
I know,
Did
slasher movie to soap opera.
Did they find
General
out
Hospital.
about your movie? Did
General Hospital?
yeah, the cast member?
I think they did, and I'm actually not on General Hospital anymore, and I kind of feel like there might be a correlation.
It's like
Oh.
They're lost. They're lost.
They're lost, yeah.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Terrifier 2 was so much fun, and it's way better because, like, no lines. I get to just make creepy faces. Versus General Hospital, it's like all these big blurbs and stuff. All these big paragraphs. And
It's wonderful not having lines.
Exactly. Exactly.
What's your favorite?
Well, actually, I can identify with that too because I was like in between it was during COVID. I was filming this, recording this animated show for a certain kids network and stuff like that, and halfway through it, they discovered that I was playing Art the Clown, and they're like, "Yeah, we're having to go with a different person."
No.
Yeah.
It's definitely not
Yeah.
everyone's cup of tea.
I was like, really? I'm an actor. I'm like, this is not real. It's not really who I am. I don't really This is not who I am to do
It's
weird
okay,
stuff like that.
So what's your memorable scene?
But my memorable scene was probably my favorite scene I filmed. Because I have a lot of memorable scenes, but my favorite one was in part 3. It was the bar scene.
Oh my gosh.
I had so much fun. That was just. I love any scene where I get to just mess around with people and just go in. Because I'm a comedy guy. That's my background is improv and comedy, and those are the scenes where I really get to flex with these little these pea shooters here.
You look
but-
good, Clown.
Yeah. But especially with that scene, because I was able to do a scene with these actors I've watched my whole entire life, like Clint Howard and Daniel Roebuck and Bradley Stryker. I've watched them in movies and TV shows my whole entire life, and being able to just actually do comedy with these guys was just amazing. Especially Danny, he's like a true pro. I mean, he's like he's a great. He understands how to be a great straight man in the scene. So because that's the job, is to set up the joke, and it's like you can't have a good comedic scene without a good straight man. That is so necessary. And he was just constantly just making stuff up that was just hysterical and it was just giving me so much to work with. And so we had so much fun that whole entire week. And it was my favorite week I've ever had filming anything.
Wow. So coming from a comedy, comedy background, is it fair to say that like Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd, these kind of guys would be big influences on
Big
you?
influence.
Yeah.
Chaplin, of course. Rowan Atkins, Mr. Bean. And I love him. And for 5 years I was an understudy of Stephen Carl, who was Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town on How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical. So that was like a master's course in physical comedy. So I learned so much from him. And when I got cast as Art, I called him up on the phone because we had both talked about how we wanted to play a Mr. Bean-like character. And I'm like, dude, I finally got this chance with this evil Mr. Bean. And we just came up with ideas and stuff like that, collaborated. And so I was like, he was able to see part 1, so that was really cool. And then he passed away shortly after part 1 came out, cancer. So I'm like, there's a little dedication to him at the end of Terrifier 2 too, in the credits. So yeah.
Okay.
I think my favorite part of filming was the day that we filmed in the pizza Hut parlor because a lot of the food that we were eating was eggs and potatoes. I'm not kidding. And that day we got pizza.
Yo.
Pizza!
It was heated there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And That was a few
huge.
times we were in a location that actually had heat.
And an actual bathroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we
Oh.
weren't covered in blood either.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a good.
Yeah.
So I understand that was like an abandoned, like derelict.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly. That was not set dressing. That was all there.
Yeah.
That's just what was there.
Yeah, there were
Oh,
used condoms.
We
on
didn't
there.
have
Used needles.
Why the
Yeah.
why? That's
Yeah.
that's the real
Yeah.
question.
I think that's
We
where
didn't
COVID
have
really
anyone in
came
our
from.
department.
The origin.
I don't think we had an art department.
No, we
No.
did not. We did not.
That was a sharp department.
Sam.
Me, my turn. I blacked out on all three. It's define memorable. Is it memorable in like a positive sense or a negative sense?
I think it's two stories.
You could do either way.
I'm gonna flip the script.
Oh, boy.
The most memorable was probably when we were filming the glass scene.
Oh.
In a negative sense. 'Cause it was super, well, I think I was going into it thinking it was gonna be some crazy like moment where my character's like, ah. And David's like, okay, we're gonna do this and I want it to be very realistic. And I was like, okay, that's interesting and fun. And then I forgot that when they call action, everything goes very quiet. And I tell the story often when people come to the table, but it got very quiet and there's just like a sea of people in darkness up in the attic. And David was my eyeline the whole time.
That was awkward.
So I had to stare at David while I was
It's like,
doing that, and I was like cringing. Even Damien told me recently that he was so uncomfortable he almost left set.
That's how you knew you're doing a good job.
Yeah, 100%. But so I was simulating that in a sea of people that I know very well.
and it kept going.
And then David at one point like literally looked away in disgust.
Yeah, I was like,
So I can't watch that. That I don't forget, and that I can't watch off. So
Well,
that's
this
funny.
isn't Terrifier, but have you guys seen the first Omen? Not the original Omen, the first Omen.
Yeah.
It's Arkasha
Yes.
Stevenson, amazing female director. She said to your story, like she said that in that scene where when she becomes a kind of like possessed and stuff, she said, okay, now make it an orgasm. And
God.
she does it, and it is really unsettling, and every man on set was really uncomfortable and almost
Uncomfortable.
worked off,
Yeah.
and Arkasha was like, okay, we have it.
Yeah.
It's like an act of feminism to be
Yeah,
able to make a room of men that
With my pleasure.
Yes, hell yeah.
I love
It
it.
worked.
It feels better. Now it's a positive
That was
story, actually.
Incredible.
It's a very positive memory now. Thank you.
Yeah.
We rewrote that.
I feel the need to clarify because some of you were like, "What the fuck is this bald chick doing here?" I'm Tara from the original. So you know,
Wow, that is
like I just walked in. I saw this before. Oh my god! Hi. And my favorite scene to film was when I was beating the shit out of David.
Yes.
Yeah, yay. that was like my first time doing like kind of fighting scenes.
Stunts, yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's
Oh, for you.
that was my first night too.
That was your first night?
That was my first night filming.
Oh, I forgot that.
Yeah, and so that was an intro. It's like that's where that's my Plan 9 from Outer Space one, because when I'm having to choke you,
Mm-hmm.
they have that one shot that we couldn't use. That's where I was actually choking you.
Yeah.
And so the shot of me is I thought they were just doing it from the neck up, like the face. And so I'm just like, I'm hovering my hands over just to simulate choking her, and that's what you see in the movie. It's like, oh, look, I'm force choking her. Great. Because I was so worried. At that point, I was so worried about hurting people, and I had to do the
still be
whole...
worried.
He's not worried.
Especially then, I was like, because I had to like
Yeah.
go into her
Yeah.
eyes, and I'm like, I don't want to.
But Jenna is such
Yeah.
an amazing stunt
Yeah.
performer, and she was
She
really
talked
the
me
stunt
through it.
choreographer on
Yeah.
that, and like was able to like, yeah, she's such a badass.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now it's on. Now the footage that's missing from the movie is on David's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So
Going with the fight scene, though, when you're actually beating the crap out of him with the board, that was the night where I had to really trust you, because we had a fake board.
we had
that
two different boards.
Yeah.
We had a fake one that was rubber that I could actually smack him with, and then we had a real one that was an actual 2x4 where we were cheating all the moves.
Yeah. And the fake one broke. Like right before we're gonna go, we're like, oh crap, we're like, we gotta use this one, and I had to just trust her that she had really good aim. And I was like, oh god, oh god, oh god, do not move, Dave. It's like, okay, I am staying right here, and we did it.
We did it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good.
Next question. Oh yeah.
I got one for Captain and one for Dave. Captain, How long were you hanging upside down during sloth scenes?
I know. I list the irony.
You have something.
Yeah, you know I've had the worst headache.
I know.
And David, so was Art's exaggerated facial features like, was he born that way, or was it some kind of like plastic surgery, kind of like Nick Cage's character in Longlegs?
Oh, I've never thought about this.
I can't say because I think Damien's going to address some of that in part 4.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There is a whole
There we go. Watch it. But
What was the other question?
How long you were hanging?
Yeah.
Your
I
favorite
got that.
question to ask.
Off and on for 10 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it wasn't,
Not 10 hours straight.
No, but I never got down. Like I never got down. My legs were in the air and I was always on my back.
okay, that's
Which is not how you're supposed to do that.
I was watching those scenes and I heard you staying tied down like in between takes.
Yes.
So I thought, oh, is she also upside down in between takes too?
No, you should not do that. You die. That's how you die. Like
Yeah.
so we didn't do that.
Thank God.
I would not be here. That would be a very different movie. That you would
None of us would be here.
Like, maybe. I think it's still. I think y'all still would have watched it personally. No, you're not. Yeah, you can't do that. And really, you shouldn't actually do things like you can. The actor, if you're someone like Jenna who is as trained in stunts as they are, you can opt for certain tools to help yourself, but no, you should never actually do anything, ever. So, I don't know if that's helpful.
Yeah, we could only film like 30 seconds at a time because we didn't want her hanging.
It was like 42 seconds.
Yeah.
He was had blood coming down too.
Yeah, so like once you're upside down for more than, the like general rule of thumb is over 42 seconds upside down, you can risk seizure. If you like aren't, like you can work your body up to it, but in general, you're not supposed to do that. And because we did it, but because in between, often Phil would like hoist me onto a platform, and my legs would be in the air, and I would just be like waiting to go again, and then we'd yell action, and I'd like reverse crunch down, and that was kind of like how we did that all night. That was the only thing we shot.
Yeah.
I got very sick. There was no heat. There was no running water. I will say I still laugh about it to an extent sometimes because some days no, but some days yes. Because when we went home, David and I, this is not how you make movies. Damien will attest to this. But we went on the Staten Island ferry. It was an overnight shoot in January in New York. There's no heat, no running water. Keep this in mind. So we could not take off the blood and the black under the eyes that he had and the black in the mouth. That I was just pink and sticky. And he had the black in his eyes, and it was so cold. And I had a bathrobe that I brought, because I brought an extra one. I had a bathrobe and then my winter jacket on top of the bathrobe, looking like I did. David, also winter clothes, looking, he did 6 a.m., sun is coming up, people are going to Wall Street, and we're just sitting there exhausted, staring, as if, and nobody did anything!
They just all were like,
I don't know what these fuckers have gotten into.
Those people on the boat.
I just stared ahead and I hailed a cab and went home like that. And I
go to the
also,
subway.
oh my God. And I also had, I was in an apartment with only one washer and dryer in the building, and this one person never took their laundry out of the wash. It was wet and sitting there, and I was bloody and sticky. I had to wash the thing, so I took their clothes out, put them on top, put my clothes in, and left a note that just said, had to get the blood out. And
That's amazing. That's great.
I left it there. I have a picture somewhere.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, I'm curious for you guys. This has been a journey from 1 to 3 so far. 1 felt very much guerrilla-style filmmaking, which I'm not sure if it was.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
I think it is.
And then 3 is definitely different from that, right? You've had this progression as you've been able to make more money and do better things. do you miss aspects of those earlier ways you were filming, or when you're going more to
I'm I would say that we were still guerrilla-ing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, cause I think that it's like the more money, more problems. Did I say that right? More
Yeah,
money,
like
more
more
problems.
No problem.
Yeah, I didn't hear that right. So it was definitely because we had a lot more money and we definitely got to work with like amazing talent and like Christian Tinsley Studio did all the makeup and Heather was amazing makeup artist and Ryan and Alana, but it was still like kind of a running gun just because everything got amped and Damien doesn't make the movie for the budget that he has. He makes like $100 million movie and we have to figure out kind of how to do it. I will say that I personally miss having a face. So that was definitely an aspect of something that I missed. But I did miss the purity. It was definitely very brutal, the first one, but there was kind of like an innocence of like, oh, no one's going to see this. There wasn't that pressure.
Yeah.
And then like, meeting everyone for the first time and not knowing what the hell we're getting into. So there was like kind of an innocence that got lost.
Especially our first meeting.
Oh, wait, when you were naked.
Yeah.
I met David when he wore the
Yeah, I just come out, I'm
and
wearing the
people
fake
will-
boobs, and they're like, hi.
Yeah, my first day shooting was it got scrapped, but I was
Yeah.
supposed to cry finding your dead body.
Yeah.
So that was a brutal scene to shoot first, and then it was David basically naked and telling me that it was cold, and not to judge him.
It's cold.
I also I also think this like spawn that the four of us have and Damien who's not here, this like authentic kind of like very grounded, funny, like no expectations of each other is such a like pure thing that every time it gets bigger, people come in with expectations and needs and things they want out of it because, they know. There was this like authenticity to it that can like never be recreated again. And it's cool because you get to bring in other creatives and collaborators, but it's also you miss that like, oh hey, I'm naked, don't judge me kind of like silliness that like we have that I unfortunately like these guys get to like they get to be part of it, but they don't have it from the jump, and it's a bummer. Like we love them, but they don't get it from.
I mean,
like,
I'm sure if you want to see David naked, you can ask.
He was. Wait,
You saw a lot of me.
and they're amazing. And like what's so amazing is like
Same things.
people like Ashley and Mason have come in who are so wonderful and grounded and like can be part of the family as it grows, but it will get to a point where it's bigger than all of us and like you lose that like authenticity,
Well, I feel close to everybody.
Oh, that's so glad. That makes it like it's so good.
I loved filming the second. I felt like I was really close with everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
yeah, I didn't feel like I lost. Like I don't feel like we lost any like authenticity. I felt really close with everybody.
Yeah, 2 was still very gorilla too.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, we didn't have makeup chairs or anything
Yeah.
like
No.
that.
No trailers.
I brought a portable heater.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so
Okay. Go ahead. Kind of piggybacking off of the bonding comment that Catherine made. So as far as how over the top the deaths can get, is it more of like a collaborative approach between like victim and Damien, or is Damien more like, hey, here's what's going to happen, and we're going to do it like this? Just
I mean, I don't really remember. I think
I will say with my
It's just
death, it
there,
was
yeah.
very,
like,
with my death, it was very like because firearms are something that like regardless of budget, I'm sure all of you know what happened on Rust.
mhm.
Regardless of budget, there's no need to sacrifice safety.
yeah.
And I will say to his credit, when I had to get on the ground and be shot in the face by this lovely man right here, Damien got on the ground first and did a dry run with the gun before he asked me to do it. And like I respect the hell out of that because you should not ask your actors to do anything that you're not willing to do yourself.
Yeah. Damien did come and get coffee with me in my neighborhood and like asked me if I was comfortable with everything, and I think I was just a little crazy, like, oh yeah, which was kind of dumb at the time. I should have asked more questions, but like I think, yeah, he kind of knows what he wants. At least that was my experience. He knows what he wants, and you're just like you're the facilitator. I don't know if it was like that for
Yeah,
you.
Damien, he knows exactly what he's looking for. He is open and like he was amazingly supportive. Are you comfortable in these scenes?
Yeah.
Yada yada yada. And he's always open to like a riff on an improv and a line, and he's open to thoughts, but he really is the genius behind what we see. You know, like you just can't. I mean, that was my experience.
He definitely does want to make sure everybody's okay. That's
Yeah.
It's like he always runs everything. Like even with me when it was the Buffalo Bills scene, it wasn't written like that in the script. It was I was supposed to be wearing the body parts over my costume, and it was like 2 days before. And he's like, "I've got a sick idea."
All his ideas are sick.
Yeah.
I think also, I mean,
funny.
the other thing that I thought was kind of interesting, Ryan's not here who did the effects on 3, but I've worked with Ryan on other things, and he was saying how Damien is very, like, he uses corn syrup exclusively, like, or whatever the blood is that's sticky, it's
It's
corn syrup.
horrible.
Yeah, so actually,
He loves it.
that's not a thing that, like, is, like we all have done a bunch of other stuff. You don't actually, that's not like a normal thing that's used anymore. That's a really old school thing that was like used in like the 60s and 70s. But now the blood doesn't have, like, it comes off it much easier. Like, I did the Ice Nine Kills music video, which is like the most close comp, I guess, to this. And that was Chris Nelson who did the effects on that. And like the blood on that is not sticky. It rinses right off. Yeah, you're like, wow.
Yeah. That was stuck on me for days.
There's like it's a.
We had that blood though. We had the blood you're talking about.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, because I
Dude,
had.
I was pink.
Great.
But he's like, and Ryan multiple times is like, hey, like we can try, like there's other, let's try this. And Damien was very much like, no, it has to be this kind. It's all I like. It's the way I like it. So like he is like, he does think about it in that way. Like he likes it. For whatever reason, he likes the way that looks. Pink be damned. Like, you know, like pink stains be damned. He likes the way that looks, and it's an old school thing.
I got a question. I don't know if you can answer it or not, but the little girl that Art sees, is that his sister
You? Me?
in the laundromat?
Oh,
The little pale girl.
Yeah. Well, there's a hint. There's definitely a hint in the
There's
movie, but
a big Easter egg that
Okay.
tells a lot,
Yeah.
but you guys.
He's the only one that sees her.
yeah, originally.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that entity it takes forms of things
Okay.
that someone's familiar with. So that because it also takes the form of Barbara later on in the movie. It's like so it can choose who can see it or not. So it's like, but I think as far as I know, we'll probably explore more of that in part 4.
Okay. Great.
But he says everything's going to make sense. So I'm like, I trust him.
Good. Thank you.
What would Art's guilty pleasure music be while killing somebody?
Jazz. You see a little hint of that when he's in the truck. It's like that discordant jazz music. And it's like, yeah.
Well, they have given me the word that we need to get going. Cool. So, thank you all of you.
No problem.
Directing feature films yet?
She should.
I have directed a lot of short films, and I'm in development to direct a feature film. And you
I'm in development. So.
Oh, why didn't you ask me if I was directing?
Are you
What the fuck? Because I'm blonde? I'm also in development. This is so prejudiced. This is being natural. Okay?
Neither is Jenna's.
Neither is Jenna's.
what are you talking
So
about?
rude. So rude. No, I'm just kidding. I've recovered. Modern medicine.
Okay.
Modern
medicine. Mostly African.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Why didn't you ask
Great
him?
job. Hey, I know who the directors are.
I am not a director.
Great job bringing art to life.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I don't know if it's still in theaters here or not, but bye. I know it's going to be on the streaming sometime soon too, so that should be a lot of fun.
It was as of last week.
Great. If you're a Disney fan, you're going to have a lot of fun with that too.
All right, and hey, thank you both of you. Great job.
Mason's the director. Mason's the director.
Oh yeah. What are you doing? Your feature, Mason.
Well, dabble a bit. No, I'm jumping on the bandwagon because I'm so inspired by these amazing
Shut
talents.
up.
here. I am. And so yeah, no,
It's a blonde thing. It really is.
honestly,
What are
it's
you,
it's
Amelie?
a cool group
I'm
of
directing
creatives,
too,
man.
guys. I have
All right. Well, hey, it's awesome. Thank you. Anybody not seen Terrifier 2 in here? No? Everybody's seen it?
Oh boy!
You're gonna love some mashed potatoes.
Come see them at their tables tomorrow.
Enjoy the movie. Silence your cell
Thank you.
phones.
Y'all have fun.
Enjoy the
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know, right? Thank you so much.